Hello, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a very exciting video planned because I'm going to be trying a chapter of a bunch of different horror novels that I'm very excited about, and while doing that also sampling a bunch of different wines and candy that I've never tried before because it's Halloween season, so why not? Before we do jump into the video, however, I have to say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, which is Bright Cellars. Bright Cellars is a wine company who matches you to wines from all over the world that are curated to your palate. All you need to do is take their quick and simple 7-question quiz so that they can gather your taste preferences and deliver you wines that you're guaranteed to like. It's very convenient because they will deliver the wines straight to your door, so you don't gotta go out to the liquor store and browse around for so long trying to figure out what you should get and what you would like. It's really helpful too because each bottle of wine will come with its own educational card, which is gonna tell you what is in the wine, what temperature it should be served at, and what it pairs well with. I think my favorite out of all the wines that I've received from Bright Cellars has gotta be this Dreamlit bottle. This one has apricot, peach, honey, and citrus blossom in it, and it's just so good. It's like the perfect sweet white wine. I'm a huge fan of white wines, what can I say? I am also not surprised at all that I absolutely love this white blend called Meet Cute. This one also has apricot and peach in it, so apparently if a wine has apricot and peach in it, it's just gonna be my jam. I also really do enjoy a good Riesling. Like, besides Moscatos, those are probably my other favorite white wines. Sponsors on my channel make it possible for me to continue to create the content that I love to make. So by supporting a sponsor, you can directly help support this channel. And the exciting news is that Bright Cellars is giving my followers an exclusive 50% off their first 6-bottle box, plus a bonus bottle, and that's 7 bottles in total for only $53, which is crazy good value. So definitely be sure to follow the link down below to support my channel and take the quiz to get started. And thank you so much once again to Bright Cellars for sponsoring today's video, and now let me send you back to last night. Hey, so I'm pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be trying the chapter of a bunch of different horror novels that I've been wanting to read for a very long time, and while doing that I'm going to be sampling the 4 different wines that Bright Cellars was kind enough to send me, as well as trying 4 different candies that I've never tried before. And so in this video I'm going to be trying the first chapter for 8 different books, I think. I'm going to try the first chapter of The Ghost Tree by Christina Henry, The Haunting of Lee Harper by Darcy Coates, Follow Me to Ground, White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. This one also happens to be the booktube book club selection for the month of October, as well as on my phone I'm going to be reading the first chapter of The Death of Jane Lawrence, The Lighthouse Witches, and A Head Full of Ghosts. And no, I haven't read A Head Full of Ghosts yet. I know everybody's like saying that I need to read this book, and so I'm gonna try the first chapter. Some of these, it's perfect because I actually have the audiobook checked out for some of these from my library right now because I'm a lazy ass bitch and I will listen to that first chapter on audio instead of reading it with my eyeballs, because you know why? I just got off work and my eyeballs are tired, okay? Every time I do these try chapter videos now, I like to kind of rate that first chapter on a scale of 1 to 10 with how intrigued I am by that first chapter and how much it makes me want to continue reading. So I'm going to be doing that in this video as well. And yeah, before I get into the reading, why don't I start with one of the wines? Like, let me just try one of the wines right off the bat. I think the wine that has my favorite label has got to be this Dreamlit label. I mean, look at that. Like, this is beautiful, but I love it. Ooh, that's a good sound. Okay, last time I did this video, everybody was making fun of me for how I poured the wine and how I drank it like a shot. So I'm going to be professional this time. You're supposed to... You see that? Wow. Professional. Are you supposed to kind of like stir it like that? Is that professional? Okay. I'm not going to drink it like a shot this time, okay? Just like relax. Yes. That is lovely. Sweet and perfect. Yeah, it does say this one has apricot, peach, honey, and citrus blossom, and that it's a sweet white. It is very sweet. I really enjoy that. All right. Now that I'm broken in, let's read one of these books. I think I'm going to start with The Ghost Tree. I finished the first chapter. It was 14 pages, which was a little bit longer than I was anticipating. You know what I've noticed, I think, is that horror books tend to have longer first chapters than thriller books do. That's just an observation that I've made. Anyways, Christina Henry is a recent favorite author of mine because of her book Near the Bone, and I'm pretty sure that's the only one that I read from her so far, but this one keeps getting highly recommended to me, so that's a reason why I'm very excited to read this. And in this first chapter, we're just following these two young girls who are teenagers and they're besties, and their names are Miranda and Lauren, and they always tell each other that they're gonna like meet under the ghost tree, whatever that exactly means. I feel like this book is already very like atmospheric, and like it feels like I'm like in the woods while I'm reading this, and there's already been a mention of Halloween, so I feel like this is going to be the perfect book to read this month, which I'm happy about because I do plan to read this one this month. It's also really reminding me of how awful it was to be a teenage girl sometimes, because you know there's this like competitive kind of toxic thing with like her best friend about how one of them is like developing faster with puberty and one of them is like really boy crazy and the other one is just like, what the heck? There was this one line that she said when she said, it's hard to let your best friend go even if you have nothing in common anymore, and I was like, that is facts. I related a lot to that first chapter, honestly. So yeah, I would give this like an 8 out of 10 on the intrigue. I'm definitely intrigued by what's going on in this town, and I thought this was a young adult book, but it seems like the second chapter is going to be from an adult's perspective, so I think we're gonna get a little bit of everything in this book, which makes me excited for, you know, I think that's really cool. Now I shall try one of the candies. I found these all at Target, by the way, but yeah, these are Smart Sweets. These kind of look like they are you know, a knockoff of like what are those called? Sour Patch Kids. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they kind of look like knockoff Sour Patch Kids, and these ones claim that they're like low in sugar, so they're probably not gonna be as good, I would assume. Let's see. Ooh, we got a cute like half melon here. It's like covered in sugar or something. Oh, I dropped it. I don't really like it. This tastes like I'm chewing gum, but it's like sticking to my teeth. Yeah, this texture is not it. I'm gonna be chewing this for the next like 10 minutes at least. So I'm gonna start on the next read I want to do, which is gonna be A Head Full of Ghosts. And I'll see you in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm still picking it out of my teeth. Yeah, that is very sticky, chewy, sour. I don't think I really enjoy that one. I would definitely recommend the watermelon Sour Patch Kids things instead. But anyways, A Head Full of Ghosts. I almost said A Head Full of Dreams because I'm such a Coldplay fan. Whoa. This one, it was only about like 4 pages long, I think. I was listening to it on the audiobook and then I downloaded the first chapter on the ebook, because you know how you can do that in the ebook or in the iBook store, you can like download the first chapter as a sample. So I was following along with that, but I listened to it on audio. And so in this book, the main character's name is Mary. I mean, her name's Meredith, but she goes by Mary. There's this woman there named Rachel who's this like really well-known author, and she said she's like there to tell her story, like Mary's story about what happened. Just in the first chapter, there's already these like really great descriptions of this like spooky house that they're in, and like the wallpaper, and like just it's described very well. Like I feel very unsettled already listening to this. And then she says it's about how her older sister Marjorie and how she hasn't aged in the last 15 years. And so I think the main like horrific thing that's happening in this book is with her sister Marjorie. I don't know, it's like very intriguing, and I do want to know more about like Mary's story and like whatever she's about to tell this like author or like journalist person. And so yeah, I would give this a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a super intriguing first chapter, and I know that this is such a like well-loved and well-known book in the horror community, so for that reason alone, I'm like really excited to read this one. All right, so shall we try another wine? Is it the time? I think it is. The next one I'm gonna try is gonna be this Jumble Sale. I think this is one that I have had included in a package before from Bright Sellers, but I cannot remember if it's one that I enjoyed or not. So we're just gonna give it the tiniest little dribble, okay? Like barely. Yes. We're gonna mix it because we're professional, and then I'm gonna not drink it like a shot. Oh yeah, that's very pleasant. I'm so bad when it comes to describing what wine tastes like. I'm just like, yeah, it's sweet, it's good, whatever. This one says it's a sweet white. It has tangerine, peach, pear, and jasmine, which is cool. And it's a medium sweet style of Riesling,
which is cool. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I really like Rieslings. I've discovered with wines, it's like one of my favorites besides like Moscato is like my freaking go-to. Anyways, I'm gonna finish sipping this wine and I'm going to read another chapter. I think I want to do The Last House on Needless Street next because I'm just so intrigued and so curious. Okay, so The Last House on Needless Street, the first chapter was 18 pages, which was a little bit longer than I was anticipating, not gonna lie. But so far, this book is so strange and so interesting. I actually did listen to the audiobook a little bit as well because after I was getting through like page 5, I was like, okay, I need the audiobook to help me with this right now. So in this book, we're following this man named Ted, and it's from his point of view. And honestly, I thought for like the first couple of pages, I thought that Ted could be a child by the way that he was written. It was just kind of confusing. Like I was like, how old is this guy? And then it was kind of revealed that he's an adult man and he has this pet cat named Olivia and he has this daughter. I think the writing style is very unique and very interesting so far, and even the audiobook is so well done already because there's already multiple voice actors just in that first chapter. So like the audiobook is really freaking cool. If you're wondering, it's really cool. And it's weird because he's talking about in this first chapter how 11 years ago today this girl with the popsicle went missing, like whatever that means, and then on this same day, this morning, somebody like killed his birds, and he thinks there's like some kind of coincidence there that like they both happen to fall on the same day and like it's connected. It's like super hilarious because he like voice records himself with his recipe ideas and it just like sounds so funny and so awkward in the audiobook. I was like dying. And then he does talk about how Lauren is his daughter in this book and how she's kind of entering her tween years, which if you don't know, that means around the brutal age of 11 or 12, like right before you're a teenager, but after you're like kind of not a kid anymore, so you're a tween. And she just seems to be kind of like chaotic and difficult to be around. And he talks about how he like needs more pills from his doctor, so I'm like, okay, like something's up with him, like something's going on. And then I'm pretty sure that I saw that the next chapter is from the cat's point of view. So I'm just like, what is going on? This book is madness. And I would give it a 10 out of 10. Like I immediately want to continue reading this. And that is fan-freaking-tastic news for me because this is my book club pick for this month. So like, hell yes. Did I finally pick a banger? I hope so. Anyways, now that that's done, let's try another candy. I have one other candy that's kind of sour and then I have two that are like not sour. So I'm gonna go for one that's not sour this time because I need a cleanse after that sour one. So these are Hershey Kisses, but they're birthday cake flavor. And I think this is gonna be my jam because birthday cake like is my favorite thing. Like anything flavored birthday cake is like my go-to. Like if I go to frozen yogurt, I get birthday cake. If I go to Cold Stone, I get birthday cake. Like that is my favorite shit. So this should be my jam. Like we can cross our fingers and hope. I also have never seen these before and I love this like teal bag. I just think it's so cute. Oh my gosh. Holy shit, that smells amazing. Okay, cute. We just have like, you know, the standard little like Hershey's Kiss. It's like in this blue wrapper. Oh my god, please be amazing. Can you imagine if I just found this new amazing favorite candy in this video? Cute. Okay, it looks like it has little like birthday cake sprinkles in there. I don't know if you can see those. Like very cute. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is so much yes. Oh my god, I'm gonna have another one. These are amazing. They taste like freaking birthday cake. This is not false advertising. Oh my god, they're so good. Well shit, if you like birthday cake, I highly recommend checking these out. Next up, I'm gonna read The Lighthouse Witches. So The Lighthouse Witches was rather short. It was it was only like a prologue and then a chapter 1, and then the first chapter was only like 1 page. So I didn't get much from this, but what I will say is that it did have this very creepy prologue that was just in like italics, and it was about something that was going on with her sister, and it was very bloody and just like, what the fuck is going on? And then chapter 1 takes place in 1998 in Scotland, And like I said, it's only one page, but it's very beautiful and eerie, and it has these like very nice descriptions of this lighthouse and this like sleepy village town. It was just very atmospheric and immediately drew me in. I will also say that my friend Matt really enjoyed the story, and he thinks that I'm gonna love it because he said it's like a story that's about sisters, and so that's like really freaking cool. And if you didn't know, this author CJ Cook wrote one of my favorite books of last year, The Nesting, and so for that reason alone, it's like going immediately up on my TBR, even though I'm not usually the most intrigued by reading about witches for some reason, but with this author, like, sign me the fuck up. I think it's time to try another wine. All right, next up, I'm gonna try this Chardonnay. I think this label like looks super cool. Don't know if I'm a fan of Chardonnay or not. I cannot remember. We're gonna give just a little sample there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, sometimes when you go and sip wine and it goes immediately to like the back of your cheeks and you like feel it in your brain. That's what I felt with this one. Oh my gosh. Not sure how I feel about this one. That was a little intense for me. Maybe it's because it's Chardonnay, but I don't know. Oh my gosh, this one has pineapple in it, peach, cantaloupe, and coconut. That sounds like everything I would love. I love pineapple. It says it's a rich and creamy in texture, this buttery Chardonnay. It's buttery? I don't know. I don't know how to describe wine. Ugh, that wine was intense. It's so weird because if a wine isn't like super sweet, then I'm always like, ugh, my first reaction is to be like, ugh. But like honestly, after I have a few sips and get used to it, I probably wouldn't mind it very much. I'm gonna shut up now and I'm gonna read Why Smoke. That first chapter of White Smoke was 22 pages. So 22 pages. This book starts off with this girl. Her name is Marigold, and she's in the car with her family, and they're going to be moving to a new house. This character seems like she has a lot of anxiety, and she keeps mentioning how she wants to take drugs so that she can go numb and like forget all of the pain. Marigold also seems like she's really interested in knowing a lot of facts about like bugs and like creepy things, and that probably like contributes a little bit to her anxiety about the world. And it's so creepy because right in the beginning of this, you know, they pull up at the house and we already get this like super creepy scene where Marigold is like going to check out her room, and she thinks she like hears someone breathing, and she like, you know, sees a shadow moving on the wall and stuff. It's just immediately spooky, and the realtor is like, oh, you can't check out the basement yet because it's off limits. And I'm like, bitch, what? Like, that is the biggest red flag I've ever heard in my life. Get out of there. The realtor also tells them that they're in an up-and-coming neighborhood, and so she tells them to make sure their doors are locked at night and like take everything off the porch if you don't want it stolen, and also don't let the kids just like wander around the house unsupervised, which like, this is just red flag after red flag after red flag. But it's kind of confusing because they're saying something about how they like got the house for free, or like they're not paying any, you know, loans on this house or something. So it's like, I don't understand why that is in my brain, like how they got this house for free, but they said they need to be debt free right now because they just paid a lot of money for Marigold to go stay in like a mental health place, like a hospital. And so I'm assuming something has happened with Marigold in the past, and it really like put their family in debt, and so now they're like gonna have to live in this fucking haunted house, I guess. The back of this book, it says Get Out meets The Haunting of Hill House. And so that's like the main reason why this is definitely a book that I want to read this month. Yeah, I would say that first chapter was definitely like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really great, and I can't wait to see what the fuck is going on with this house. The next candy, I ended up getting these M&Ms with caramel because I like freaking love M&Ms. Okay, M&Ms are like one of my favorite candies. I actually like the mini M&Ms, like those ones are the ones that slap the hardest in my opinion. But I do enjoy peanut butter M&Ms, and I like a lot of the different kinds, but I've never tried the caramel ones. I can't remember if these ones are new or not, but I just decided to go with these to give them a try. I mean, I'm not expecting them to be like anything crazy, you know? Ooh, okay, so they're kind of like, you know, bigger. They're kind of like the peanut M&Ms size. They're kind of a little larger. Let's just give it a shot. Hell yeah. I freaking love caramel. This tastes like a mix between like a Milky Way and a Milk Dud. I just realized those both have milk in the title. Hell yeah, these are good. You gotta keep these away from me because I will eat this whole fucking bag right now, I swear. Next up, I'm going to read The Death of Jane Lawrence on my phone. It's happening. Okay, so chapter 1 of this book was 7 pages long. I'm sorry if I look weird. I almost just fell asleep right now. This first chapter was fine. I'm kind of confused. Like, I don't think I realized like what this book is even about. But so far in this first chapter, we're just following this woman named Jane, and she's like begging this doctor to marry her in this first chapter. She's not like begging him, but she's like almost like low-key begging him, and he's like, I cannot. He's like, I must reject your marriage proposal. It's written in a very like old school way. If I had to describe the writing style, it would be, you know, they use like old English words, you know. It's not like the easiest writing style to understand, so my brain is just like trying to focus after that wine. And yeah, and then it seems like she's like trying to get a job with him, like working, like she doesn't want to be a doctor, but she wants to be like helping him out. And he's like, you know nothing about a doctor's life, about the business or the medicine. And she's like, I can, and I want to learn. But I feel like as far as just like rating that first chapter, it's probably like a 5 out of 10 for me. Like that first chapter wasn't super intriguing for me, and I don't know if this book is going to be my thing or not. So we have the final wine to try, and this one might be one of my favorite labels as well. It says meet cute, and it looks all like old Hollywood or something. It's so freaking cute. This one is a white blend, so there's high hopes. So let's give it a whirl. Smells good. Oh my god, yes. That is so like fruity. I can actually really taste the peach in this one. Oh wow. Yeah, that's really freaking good. That one might be my favorite. These two are pretty phenomenal. Would highly recommend, because not only do they have like the cutest little labels on them, but also like that shit is fire. It's so good. I'm so glad I enjoyed that one. All right, the next thing that I'm going to read is going to be Follow Me to Ground. So Follow Me to Ground is a fantasy horror, so I don't exactly know what that means and how this book is going to be like fantasy. I'm confused what this is even about, because honestly this first chapter was only 1 page. This book is literally like part 1, and then you flip the page and you read this 1 page, and then you read the back of this page, and then it's part 2. So it's kind of like, okay, shit. This book is just, it's already so gross, you know, it just reels you right in. It's talking about slugs. It's like, at night, I hear their slow procession. All the slugs that live beneath the house, I hear them moving around, shriveling over the pebbles and dirt like the skin on staling fruit. Wandering blindly up and down the lawn, stalk eyes roving. I don't know why we're talking about slugs, but you know, I'm intrigued. Like, what is this even about? Haunting story about an otherworldly young woman torn between her old way of life and the perilous delights of a new lover. Follow Me to Ground is hypnotic, propulsive, and unforgettable. So it's like also slightly a romance. Dude, I don't even know what this book is, but I just looked and my library had this audiobook available. The audiobook's only 4 hours, and this book is like less than 200 pages. It's like a little baby of a book. And so I think I'm gonna be reading this one in October just because I'm so curious. I mean, as far as that first chapter goes, you know, we were just talking about slugs, and it was very strange. It's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for me on the intrigue scale, but because of what this book is about and because of how short it is, I feel like I'm going to be reading this anyway in October. So, all right, I have the last candy to try, and this is going to be another one of the sour candies. I will admit, I'm not a huge fan of sour candy. I'm definitely more of a sweets person, but that's why me and my sister make the perfect pair, you know, because my sister loves the sour. Like, she wants sour gummy worms, she wants all of the sour things, and then I want all of the sweet things. I have a very big sweet tooth. I want a Dairy Queen Blizzard almost every day of my life. It's like a serious struggle to resist. But these are called sour strips, and they're new. I mean, the thing says that they're new, and I don't know, they kind of look like those, they kind of look like they'd be like a knockoff of those sour strip candies that already exist. I don't know who does them, I can't remember, but we're gonna give this a whirl, and if I don't like it, I'm sure my sister will, so it wasn't a waste of money. Okay, it's just like a whole thing, I think. It's just, oh, okay. We got a whole strip. Am I gonna eat this whole thing? Yes, I am. Oh, bitch. Wow, that's sour. Okay, I don't hate this. These are actually pretty good. I don't know if you can see, but it's like coated in this like white sugary stuff that makes it so sour. You know it's sour when it literally like gets you back in the back of the cheeks, you know? That's where your sour buds, you just go. I know I'm making like weird faces like I don't like it, but it's because it's so sour. I'm just not used to sour things anymore. Wow, so the candy was a success. I enjoyed all of that candy except for the sweet watermelon. I would not recommend these Smart Sweets unless you're like trying to go for candy that's like significantly less sugar, but honestly, you can tell that it's less sugar because it's kind of disgusting. Like, damn, everything else, I will be eating those. I thought that these would be ones that I would just like pass on to my sister because I don't really like sour stuff, but these are actually pretty fire. Like, they're really good. Alright, all we have left is one more book, and it is The Haunting of Lee Harper by Darcy Coates. And I'm excited to, you know, read the first chapter of this because I've actually never read any books by Darcy Coates, and I know that she's a very well-loved and well-known horror author in the horror community. I was gonna say thriller, could you tell? And so yeah, I'm very excited to give her a go. Even if it's just a chapter, I'm excited to check out her writing style. Alright, so The Haunting of Lee Harper. This first chapter was 12 pages, so it wasn't insanely long. Dude, this first chapter was like so freaking intense. And I can definitely see why she's like a really well-known horror author because this shit was indeed horrifying. This first chapter is just called The Something, and she just immediately, like, we just jump right in. The first sentence says, "Something lingers outside my room." And then we just follow her as she's paralyzed with fear because there's this like shadow figure thing standing in her doorway. It's just very creepy. She like tries to dial 911 and she can't even fucking speak because she's so paralyzed with fear. She's trying to think, you know, what do I do? Who do I call? And just like the way she describes this thing is like truly creepy. She says like, "The something moves. I was right. It doesn't need to shamble. It comes toward me with horrible speed, terrible power. Its eyes as round as twin moons, boring into me, and I finally find enough voice to scream." That's so creepy. Like, all of this is just written in a way that's just like so creepy. Like, this first chapter had me going ooh and like ooh and like ooh like multiple times. Yeah, apparently because I'm like, okay, what is this book even about? Like, holy shit, that was one intense first chapter. And it says Lee, oh my god, I just noticed her name is Lee Harper and I've been saying Barker this whole freaking time. What an idiot. So Lee Harper's quiet suburban home was her sanctuary for more than a decade until things abruptly changed. Curtains open by themselves, radios turn on and off, and a dark figure looms in the shadows of her bedroom at night, watching her, waiting for her to finally let down her guard enough to fall asleep. Ugh. Pushed to her limits but unwilling to abandon her home, Lee struggles to find answers, but each step forces her towards something more terrifying than she ever imagined. A poisonous shadow seeps from the locked door beneath the stairs. The handle rattles through the night and fingernails scratch at the wood. Her home harbors dangerous secrets, and now that Lee is trapped within its walls, she fears that she may never escape. Wow, that's intense. Yeah, so I'm super curious to read this one. I feel like this first chapter for me was definitely like a 9 out of 10. Like, it was up there. It was very intense and terrifying. And I can see the hype, you know? Her books just get right to it, you know? She skips the bullshit. She skips the character intros. She's like, let me just scare the shit out of you first thing. I like it. Alright, so that is a wrap on reading the first chapter of all of these different horror novels. You know, I think it's really great that my personal favorite first chapter that I just read today is The Last House on Needless Street. I just really love that for me, you know, because this is the booktube pick, and you know, if you know anything about my book club, it's that I've been picking a lot of books this year that I have not really enjoyed, and so now I have restored my faith that this book is going to be the 5-star book of the booktube. Like, I'm hoping and praying to the freaking gods, I'm hoping that I love this book as much as I just love that first chapter. Like, that would be so cool. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed with all of these first chapters. I had a really great time reading all of these books. There wasn't anything really that I disliked out of all of these. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy this video. I hope you had as much fun as I did trying out all of these things. Let me know if you see any books mentioned on this whole list of books that you really think that I would like and that you would love for me to get to immediately. And also let me know if there's any of your favorite books on this list. Like, are there any that you just think are absolute standout 10 out of 10 faves? And also, of course, please let me know if you would like to see something like this again in the future. Again, I'm still trying out these, like, try a chapter with also, like, trying other things with it. And if you have any ideas for, like, different things I could do with this kind of format of a video, I would love to know, because I think it's super fun to kind of try a chapter of a book and then also theme it with something else like wine or candy or whatever. So let me know if you have any ideas for that, and thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.